Neutron. Neutron is a partially reusable, medium-lift, two-stage launch vehicle under development by Rocket Lab Corporation. Announced on March 1, 2021, the vehicle is designed to be capable of delivering a payload of 13,000 kilograms, 28,660 pounds, to low Earth orbit, LEO, in a partially reusable configuration, and will focus on the growing megaconstellation satellite delivery market. First launch is expected no earlier than the last quarter of 2026. Neutron is designed to be partially reusable. The rocket's first stage has a 7 meters, 23 feet, diameter, for landing legs and canards, and 2 fairing halves. To maximize reusability, Rocket Lab uses a Hungry Hippo payload fairing design in which, instead of fairings being detached from the first or second stage as is typical in modern rockets, the fairings are integrated with the first stage via hinges. Neutron has 2 fairing segments mounted in this way. The first stage is powered by 9 oxygen-rich staged combustion CH-4 LOX, Methalox, Archimedes rocket engines. The second stage of Neutron is completely contained within the Hungry Hippo fairing. It is hung from the separation plane, in that the tank structure of the stage is in tension when under thrust. Like the first stage, its structure is composed of carbon composite. It is powered by 1 Archimedes engine. The first stage is intended to propulsively land on a floating landing platform downrange in the Atlantic Ocean named Return on Investment. An earlier design of Neutron, March 2021, included a rocket 40 meters, 130 feet, tall with 4.5 meters, 15 feet, diameter payload fairing. Rocket Lab stated that they intended for the first stage of the vehicle to be reusable, with landings planned on a floating landing platform downrange in the Atlantic Ocean. On December 2, 2021, Rocket Lab unveiled a revised design for Neutron, featuring a tapered shape with a maximum diameter of 7 meters, 23 feet. Rocket Lab abandoned ops for a return-to-launch site reusability profile and on a floating platform. Instead of a conventional payload fairing that is jettisoned and recovered at sea, the fairing is integrated into the vehicle, and opens during stage separation to release the second stage and payload, and then closes before the first stage lands back on Earth. The rocket features a unique interstage design where the second stage is hung from the first stage structure. On September 22, 2022, another revised design was unveiled at an investor day, with the first stage engine count increased from 7 to 9, and the engine architecture changed from gas generator to oxygen-rich staged combustion. This was done primarily to allow for a lower turbine temperature, while maintaining the same specific impulse. The engine will run with a significantly lower chamber pressure than other similar engines, at the cost of some performance. The number of fairing segments was reduced from 4 to 2. On July 27, 2023, new concept art on the Rocket Lab website showed a further revised design, with a reduction in the number of payload fairing sections from 4 to 2, redesigned landing legs, and small changes to the overall shape of the rocket. The number of payload fairing sections was reduced in order to allow for simpler fairing opening mechanisms, while the landing legs were redesigned in order to be optimized for landings on floating platforms, allowing for an increase in launch availability. The redesigned legs feature a folding mechanism similar to the SpaceX Falcon 9 landing legs. During the company's earnings call in February 2025, a plan to modify the offshore barge Oceanus were unveiled. When modifications are complete, the ship will be named Return on Investment. The 120 meters, 400 feet, ship will be refit by Bollinger's ship in Louisiana. On February 28, 2022, Rocket Lab announced that Neutron will launch from the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport, MARS, within NASA's Wallops Flight Facility, WFF, on the eastern coast of Virginia. It was also announced that the company will build a 23,226 square meters, 250,000 square feet, manufacturing and operations facility adjacent to the Wallops Flight Facility. Ground was broken for this facility on April 11, 2022. As of December 2021, Rocket Lab is planning for the first launch to take place no earlier than July 2025. Test firing of Neutron's Archimedes engine occurred at NASA's Stennis Space Center, SSC, in Hancock County, Mississippi. In September 2025, Rocket Lab held a ceremony to mark the launch pad, including Deluge system, being ready for launch. Neutron is designed to lift up to 15,000 kilograms, 33,100 pounds, while expended, 13,000 kilograms, 28,660 pounds, while landing the booster downrange and up to 8,500 kilograms, 18,700 pounds, with the first stage returning to the launch site. Rocket Lab forecasts Neutron will be able to launch 98% of all payloads launched through 2029. Rocket Lab also intends the design to be able to support constellation deployment, deep space missions, and eventually human spaceflight. In May 2025, Rocket Lab was awarded an evaluation contract to test for compatibility of Neutron with the United States Air Force, USAF, Rocket Cargo Program for return-to-Earth cargo delivery anywhere on Earth. The first flight of Neutron is expected to be in the last quarter of 2026. In September 2025, Rocket Lab planned to launch Neutron 3 times in 2026, and 5 times in 2027. According to Rocket Lab, Neutron's expected debut launch in 2025 also puts the launch vehicle in a strong position to on-ramp onto the U.S. government's National Security Space Launch, NSSL, Lane 1 program, an indefinite delivery indefinite quantity, IDIQ, contract valued at $5.6 billion over a 5-year period. A request for proposal, RFP, for the program opened on October 30, 2024 with approved new launch vehicles to be on-ramped to the program in spring 2025. In November 2024 Rocket Lab announced that it has signed a multi-launch agreement with a confidential commercial satellite constellation operator to launch a satellite constellation using Neutron. Under the contract, Rocket Lab will launch 2 dedicated missions on Neutron starting from mid-2026. The missions will launch from Rocket Lab Launch Complex 3 on Wallops Island, Virginia. The launch service agreement for these missions signifies the beginning of a productive collaboration that could see Neutron deploy the entire constellation.